Hello everyone, Dr. Mark here again, and today I wanted to talk to you about some things you can do at home so that you do not even need an expensive corporate vet visit. The costs of veterinary care are getting ridiculously high in 2025, but there is a lot you can do at home. Please do not give up your pet because you cannot afford one of those corporate vets. This video will make several recommendations of things you can do at home to find problems before they become serious, avoid problems, and to deal with several specific problems. After I upload this, I will go back and add some time stamps so that if you want to just find a specific thing your dog needs help with, like vomiting, you can just go back and watch that part of the video. I am a graduate of the University of Missouri College of Veterinary Medicine and have been involved with vet medicine over 40 years. The first thing I recommend if you want to take care of your dog at home and find problems early so as to avoid expensive visits to your veterinarian are home physical exams. There are a lot of things you can pick up on early just by looking at your dog. This should be done about once a week, so I recommend families do this every Saturday or Sunday afternoon when they have more time, and then get further help if needed that Monday. You can check the temperature with a cheap ear thermometer from Amazon, feel all over for any lumps or bumps, look at the color of the gums and compare them to last week, and even buy a cheap stethoscope so you can listen to the lungs and heart. If you feel that this is too much for you to do, there are some great new artificial intelligence subscription plans available for about $10 a month. You take pictures of your dog with your smartphone, upload them about once a week, and a vet tech looks at the photos to determine if your dog needs to see a vet. There are limitations, of course, since they cannot examine your dog as thoroughly as a person, but if you look at your dog and send photos of any lumps, cloudy eyes, inflamed ears, or spots on the skin, they can tell you a lot. The second thing you can do to avoid expenses from the vet is by feeding your dog correctly. No, I am not going to recommend some brand of dog food that I sell. I am not in this to make money, and if you want to feed the cheapest dog food you can find, that is up to you. I can tell you that by feeding that cheap dog food you are getting at the store, you are going to end up spending more on veterinary care, so it is not really cheap. There are numerous videos out there on how to make up a homemade whole food diet for your dog. Do try to use plenty of whole ingredients like meat, fish, and eggs, but do not worry that you do not have a licensed veterinary nutritionist at your home. I am continually amazed that people do not feel that they can feed their dog without buying a commercial brand balanced by a nutritionist and yet feed their children with food from home and make up their own meals. I do understand those of you that do not have enough time to make up meals. Fast food is popular for a reason, and there are great brands of minimally processed foods, both freeze-dried and dehydrated, available. They are convenient. Many are now made up with human-quality ingredients, so unlike the excess fillers that go into commercial dry dog food. If you cannot make up a homemade whole food diet and cannot afford one of those brands that are delivered to your house, there is a cheaper option. It may not be as good for your dog, but some research indicates that if you give at least 75% of the food fresh, and do not give it all as ultra-processed food, then there are significant health benefits. This research was not done in the US, of course, because the giant food corporations that dominate the multi-billion-dollar dog food sales are not going to fund anything that will teach you to feed less of their food. An even better alternative is to feed a fourth of your dog's food each day in whole food, a fourth in one of the freeze-dried foods, and only half in dry dog food. It will still be fairly affordable and convenient, but there are going to be even more health benefits. The next thing you can do at home is take care of lameness. If you want this info in more detail, you can watch my video on what to do if no vet is available. Some problems, like a doxy knuckling over on the back legs, can be a sign of a back problem and needs to be treated with an anti-swelling drug right away. Checking out a dog that is lame is one thing you can do at home, and you can watch my video. If your dog does not do better, you can always take him to your vet later. The fourth thing you can save on in many cases is vomiting and diarrhea. I cannot tell you that there is no benefit to get this seen right away, but in the vast majority of cases a dog is going to clear up and stop vomiting just by resting his or her stomach. As soon as you notice your dog is vomiting, do a physical exam at home. If your pet is tiny, like a little teacup Yorkie, a Maltese, or is a senior that already has health problems, there is a lot more to be concerned about. If you have a large lab or golden though and they are not dehydrated or otherwise sick, just let their stomach rest for a day. There is controversy on whether or not to give water, as you do not want your dog to become dehydrated but also do not want to upset the stomach even further. In the human hospital they usually give ice chips to suck on. That is a good method to use if your dog likes ice. If you put a few ice cubes in your dog's water dish and they are getting dehydrated, they will usually lick them. The most important thing is to give no food. Your dog is not going to starve to death in a day. If your dog is still vomiting the next day even after resting the gut, he or she is going to need medication. He can become dehydrated if he stops drinking, has vomiting, and on his exam they may determine he will need subcutaneous or IV fluids. As far as diarrhea, the main thing to watch out for is if your dog is passing blood. It can be bright red if it is from the colon or black if the dog is bleeding from the stomach or small intestine. One of the most common causes of an upset stomach and mild diarrhea is garbage gut, just an upset stomach. If your dog is passing blood, they can get worse very quickly, so in some cases an emergency vet is worth the cost if you have someone available. Leave me a comment if you have any questions about taking care of your dog at home. It is not always worth the cost of an emergency vet. Skin problems are not an emergency. If your dog is keeping you awake licking his paws, it might feel like it, but it can wait and you can treat it later. You can give vaccines at home. If you decide to do this, I recommend you talk to a local breeder that already gives vaccines at home. They are usually willing to help other dog owners. You can buy heartworm prevention without a prescription. If you want to buy the generic ivermectin from Amazon or a feed store, there is a chart on my video. All you need to know is how much your dog weighs. You do not need to pay for some corporate office call, and no dog needs a test before starting the prevention. The medication that will prevent heartworm is also now given before the treatment is even started. You can buy dewormers without a prescription at sites like Amazon and all pet stores. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can send them to my Ask a Vet column at yourpetsathome.com. Please include your dog's sex, age, and breed. If you have had any tests done, let us know the results, and a photo often helps. The more complete your question, the better the chance that your answer will help your dog. If you are still here and have a minute, go back and look at the videos on my profile page that can help your pet.